Is this the best account on global? The answer is no. But you know what? I'm sure people have wondered. They've asked the question. I got a pretty stacked account, and hey, can you blame me? I'm trying to make rent. What up, Dokkanners? Today we're gonna be taking a look at my account. The Dokkan Box Showcase of 2024 for Toonrame is what we are checking out today. I want to do this on a regular basis. I think I started doing this last year at the end of the year, so I figured I would do it again this year. I'll probably do this up to twice a year, one at the start and then one like halfway through, maybe right before worldwide download. Might be a good time to also do it, or maybe right after worldwide download. That's probably better, because before worldwide download, on global especially, there's not as much to do for now. When we get into full synchro, things will be very different, but we're not quite there yet now, are we? So without further ado, let's jump in here. I asked you guys in a previous video to help me come up with some things to show off in this box showcase. So with all those suggestions that you guys provided, as well as some of my own, I'm going to go through as much as I can and try to make this the most comprehensive box look through as I can ever do. So we'll start from the top here, starting with the My Profile screen. This is the Dokkan account power level. This is the number one thing that people tend to measure accounts by these days. Mine is at 8.72 million, 8.71, 8.72. I've got a lot of power level, and the reason for that is primarily link leveling. I like to link level. When was the update? We had the update, I think it was during year 5. It is now year 9 that I'm recording and posting this video, but during year 5, when the link level system first started, I wasn't too keen on doing it. In fact, I only link leveled my first team of 6, and then I just said, no, I'm not doing this, because while the link leveling premise is pretty cool, it is meant to be, it was originally designed to be a passive thing, sort of like in an RPG when you're leveling up your characters, your Pokemon, your Fire Emblem, whatever. You know, whenever you level up, their stats will level up as well, right? And not all of them. Sometimes certain traits will, sometimes certain traits won't. So it was meant to be originally a very passive approach to just add more depth to the game. But then I think it was basically just the community that drove this into what it is today. And that is it is very much a crucial dimension of Dokkan now, to the point where we now have regularly dropping link level boost events. We have link skill orbs. We have keys that take you to a guaranteed link level up stage. There's so much more now associated with link leveling that it is not what it used to be. So as a result of me seeing the benefits of what units were at max links, because I can tell you right now, my first team was a Kamehameha team. It was a Kamehameha LR team. My first link level units were Super Saiyan 2 Gohan. I'm pretty sure I did a video on this. I had Tech Vegito Blue, because obviously 5-year. I also had Vegito. I had Ultra Instinct Goku. He dropped right before 5-year. And then there was like a couple other ones, but those were some of the major, oh yeah, Gobros was there. These were some of the major units that I found myself wanting to use more. So I thought, you know what, let me start by maxing out these units first. And I did a full like Max Links team showcase for that. And then over time, I was like, okay, I guess I'll do more. And that evolved into the craze that I went on, where I link leveled every single unit that I could possibly get, starting with the newer ones, the more relevant ones. Every single LR, every single TUR, both free to play and otherwise. I made sure to max out the links on every single new unit possible. Where I drew the line, however, were units that either yet to have a Dokkan Awakening or units that are dupes of previously acquired units. Like, for example, this Vegeta, he Dokkan Awakens into this Vegeta. This Vegeta is max links for me. This, however, was not. I think he is now. Yeah, he is now. But at the time, I didn't feel any desire to do that because it just didn't seem like a good use of my stones. I may be a whale, but I am a whale that is not fully accepting of that title in the sense that I spend infinitely. I don't spend infinitely. There is a limit, and my limit is link leveling duplicate characters. So that's where my link leveling journey started to slow down. I didn't do it nearly as much, which is why now I'm very passive about it. Now that I pretty much have all of the units that I want maxed out, occasionally I will go on minor little link level sprees on streams, or, you know, when I just feel like I've got a bunch of stones that I'd like to burn, I'll do it. But now I pretty much just only link level the characters that just came out. So right now, Trunks came out, the Gohan came out. We also have the Super Strike Renewal Piccolo. Before he Dokkan Awakened, I didn't link level him because I knew eventually he would get a TUR, so I never link leveled him. Same goes for this Gohan. The free-to-play World Tournament Gohan, I knew that he was going to have a TUR coming, so I didn't link level him until he got it. So now that he got one, I have started working on him, and I happen to have an extra dupe. since I know this guy will never Dokkan Awaken, this guy will also get his link leveling. So that's kind of the method to my madness at this point. Once these guys are done, I'm done. But I'm not even aggressively working on this unit like I usually do. Usually I'll burn a couple stones here and there, but I'm trying to be extra economical with my stones, my stone consumption this time, because I am now running a second channel. So like I said at the beginning, as my channel grew, my Dokkan account grew. The revenue earned on the channel funded the summons to then fund content on the channel. So it's been a perpetual cycle that has yielded a lot more throughout the years. But now that I'm starting a second channel, this channel now funds the Dokkan account and the second channel. So I got to be a little bit more careful with how I spend, which is why I'm not nearly as frequently link leveling. So that is why the rate of growth has significantly declined, probably ever since, like, I would say 7 million. Around that point, that's when I stopped link leveling as aggressively. So I know that there are some people out there who try to race their favorite creators in terms of like beating their power levels. That's totally fine. I know some of you guys are still working on it. So if you're able to top 8.7, then, you know, congratulations. That's a pretty big feat, because I may not have the most stacked power level on global or in general, but this is among the higher echelon of Dokkan account power levels. This is not a normal thing. I think the average is probably somewhere around like 500,000, 1 million at most. It's really not that high. So if you're able to surpass this, either because you're a chain battle god or you're just a dedicated Dokkan player, then shout out to you guys, because that is no easy feat. So when it comes to this My Profile screen, my banner never changes. I have had the ultimate life form since day one. That is a JoJo reference. If you are a fan of Battle Tendency, shout out to you. You chose the right season. That is the best one. And that is why I have this. Plus, it also kind of refers to the Android. Cell is my favorite free-to-play LR. This screen means nothing to me. I mean, it does nothing other than show power level and a friends list. This doesn't do anything unless they incentivize having banners. I will never try to aggressively get all banners. I have never had the desire to go for rank 70. What is it? 77 runs on any Extreme Z area or Extreme Z battle. I don't care about it because there's no reason to do it. Now that they've started to implement incentives for power levels, maybe they will do something with the banner. Like if you unlock a certain banner, your overall account gets extra this and that. If they start to do that, then I will definitely go crazy. But you know, the other problem is when it comes to World Tournament, you are doomed to fail. If you are trying to collect every single title, you will literally never succeed. Even if you hit #1 World Tournament on every single one, I don't think you get the other ones. I wouldn't know because I've never hit rank #1. I also don't know of any global players who regularly hits rank #1. And if they do they get every single other one of these? Because I got 21st on the 45th World Tournament, but notice how I didn't get 22nd, 23rd, 24th, blah, 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 blah. All the way down here, I only have a couple of these. That's not a lot. So I feel like if you chase that completionist mentality when it comes to the titles, you're gonna drive yourself crazy. That is why I just keep this entire section out of sight and out of mind, and I would recommend you guys do the same. Now, my friends list features a ton of chain battle gods, as well as other people who I randomly will add on occasionally, but I only have 80 slots here. I have 20 slots open. The plan was to allow for 20 to 30 people to be randomly added every single chain battle, because I took the time to painstakingly go through my entire box and I extracted every single EX skill orb that I could find that had a stat booster associated with it. I spent hours and hours finding every single one, and I did this just so that I could get ready for the upcoming chain battle festivities. So looking at my chain battle list right here, these are all of the units that I've got for the upcoming chain battle. It's basically Trunks and Cell. So I went through and I extracted every single stat boosting EX skill orb to equip to these units, just so that the people on my friends list will have a better time on chain battle. So what I was trying to do was to open up the slots for people to join, so that way I could not only help out myself and my friends, but also other people who randomly add me. This is something that I used to do even before chain battle was a thing, but because chain battle changed the culture, it completely changed the culture of the friend system. It just changed your approach to, you know, keeping units, conserving your units, all of that. I just can't add many people anymore. So I took the opportunity to try to do this as much as I could. So for the next 4 chain battles that we have left, enjoy. Hopefully you're able to be a part of the friends list. It is only going to those in my Discord server. So if you're in my Discord server, you may randomly be able to join my friends list for the duration of the chain battle. And by the way, I've seen some people express their disdain for me in how I constantly reject friend requests. I assure you, this is nothing personal. This is solely because I absolutely hate seeing that red exclamation point. I'm one of those people where I cannot stand seeing that. It drives me crazy. I have friends, I believe Goresh is one of them, who has like 50,000 emails accounted for on his like email app. If I look at that, I'll snap. I'll lose my mind. I can't stand that. This right here, the gift box, is also painful to look at, but at least I've come to terms with this because I'd rather just have these sitting in my box than getting rid of them and wasting them. So this I'm okay with, but the friends thing, every chance I get, I will delete them. It is nothing against you. It is just the way that I'm wired, okay? I've seen some people say, oh, he hates me. I'm just not gonna add me. It's not that I hate you. I simply just don't like seeing that there. And I know one person who went on a crusade telling how much dude hated him because of something like this. So don't be that person. I promise you it's not that. So anyway, the chain battle culture. I mean, while we're on the subject, let's talk about chain battle. So this is one of the main reasons why I do keep extra copies of units now. Before, it was actually because of Scott Herman, Oh the Hermanity. When I started summoning with him, collaborating with him, he told me, because he's a whale. He is one of the original whales. He would spend a lot on this game. I think at this point I'm a bigger whale than him, but that's because, you know, I'm a bigger channel now and I'm focusing solely on this where he's got other things. But it's because of him that I started to kind of get this idea that, you know what, this is actually a pretty cool thing, just collecting and having rainbow copies of the LRs, the full lineage. So he's the first person that I saw doing that. He did this well before chain battle was a thing. And so with that, and then chain battle becoming a thing, I just thought, you know what, might as well do it, because otherwise I would Baba shop every single spare unit, and I used to do that quite a bit, and it just seems like it's wasteful. So now what I do is I will first make sure that I have the SSR, the TUR, and the LR of a unit fully. Once all three versions are rainbowed, I will then chase the SA5, the spare SA5, because the Dokkan system basically suggests that eventually every unit will receive an EZA. So I have a full tag dedicated to future SA5s, just so that whenever that time comes, I will have these SA5s ready to go, so I don't have to burn Kais. So all of these units here are either already primed and ready for their EZAs, like Nappa Vegeta, 5 out of 20, or there's a unit that will eventually get an EZA, like Pikkon. Pikkon will eventually receive an EZA, but he's been around on so many banners that I have pulled him so many times. His SSR and TUR are both rainbowed. As you can see here, it shows 1 under Pikkon, the SSR. It shows 2 under the TUR. That's because one of them is rainbow, the other one is an SA5. So whenever he does get his EZA, I will save Kais. I've got 174 of these. Most of them are done. Some of them are not. So for those of you wondering, Toon, what on earth could you possibly do since you rainbow everything, since you've link leveled everything, since you do all the content for like videos and stuff, what else do you do other than link leveling? I will go and I will make sure my SA5s are ready to go. So this guy, this TN, eventually, theoretically, he will receive an EZA. Maybe it happens, maybe it doesn't, but I would rather have this ready in my account so that whenever it happens, I can use it without burning Kais than getting rid of it. Since I'm a whale, since I summon a lot, I've got a ton of Baba points. I never run out. I'm usually using the Baba points to buy keys, some medals. I do like to have a max amount of medals. So if I actually show you how many medals I've got, when it comes to like the main awakening medals, I try to regularly keep these as high as possible. Sometimes I don't, because eventually I just know that I will organically get back to that same point. But I do this just because I like having max of everything. This is one of those games that I very much care about. This is a game where I play it so much that I just like to have everything maxed out. I was like this with Destiny. Destiny 1 was my main game before Dokkan. Destiny 1, I had everything maxed out. I would give every exotic multiple copies to each character. I would have every combination for PvP, PvE on every single character. I just like doing that. It's the completionist in me. So there are certain elements of that completionist mentality that I still have in this game. I don't have it nearly to the same extent, but I do like to have these resources as maxed out as I can. Plus, with the advent of the Zenny shop increasing its inventory, it has made my life a lot easier, because of this, I was able to basically deplete my entire Zenny reserves to max out a lot of these different medals and items. Ghost Usher, I have almost always 9,000 Ghost Ushers. This was a main issue for me because during World Tournament, I would burn more Ghost Ushers than anything else. chasing top 20, top 30, it burns a lot of your resources. So I like to have a regular influx of Ghost Testers. So that is why I would use all of my Zenny, my excess Hercule statues to constantly replenish this, all of these other items. There are some that are only available for a limited time daily. So I will continue to buy these every single day. Eventually I will get the max that I can. But that is why my Zenny of all things is always now at minimum. Usually I was always at the 1.9999 trillion Zenny. That is no longer the case simply because I use the Zenny on a regular basis in the Zenny shop. So I don't, ever get to that maximum point again. If I want to, all I have to do is go through the Extreme Z areas, which is something that I've started to do very passively. Whenever I'm bored, or maybe if I'm on a stream and I want to do it, I will go through the Extreme Z areas to eventually get them all maxed out. So I've started to do that with a couple of them. I finished that with, I think, was it Broly? I don't remember. I've already done the 999 on a couple of them, and my latest attempt has been on this one. Family Kamehameha, I'm at 946. So all the chain battle gods are obviously ahead of me. And once I can get to 999 on this one, I will then be done. Oh, Ningen hasn't been trying. I overtook Ningen while I was watching his streams because I just wanted to troll him. I think he just gave up. I mean, he and I are both kind of the same way. Like, eventually we'll do it, but it's not something that we aggressively chase. But doing this gives you Hercule statues. This is how I maxed out my Zenny in the first place. When I started playing Dokkan, I would do this. It was a lot of fun. I just don't care so much about this anymore. So whenever I need it, I will do it. But for now, my 6 billion? 67 billion, no, 670 million. That's what I've got. 670 million Zenny. It's fine. It gets the job done. Whenever I get Hercule statues, I will regularly sell them. I don't know why. I just don't want to sell these, though. The Jackie Moon statue, what is this guy's name? Beelzebub, and the Kid Icarus thing. I don't want to get rid of these. They're just, they're collectibles. They're cool. I joined Dokkan late. I don't have all the collectibles out there, so whatever collectibles I can get, I want to keep it. So anyway, back to my list here. So we talked about power level. Rainbows. Let me show you how many rainbows I have. Thankfully, they've updated some of the things in Dokkan to kind of make organization easier. But among my tags, I do have a rainbow tag. So I have almost 1,200 units fully rainbowed out. So this includes free-to-plays. This includes duplicates of units. I don't just have a single copy of every single one. I've got multiple copies. I've got, let's see, for Ultra Instinct, for example, Autonomous Ultra Instinct. He has the full lineage fully maxed out. I've got 2 LRs. One is rainbowed, one is SA5. The TUR is rainbowed. The SSR is rainbowed. So if I ever pull any more Ultra Instinct Gokus, I won't need it. So let me actually pull up the Ultra Instinct Goku. Also, fun fact, Ultra Instinct Goku might be coming up for 9 years. So yeah, this is my lineage right here. 1, 2, 3, and the LR SA5 is not here. But yeah, so that is essentially what I've got. So I'm going to slowly just scroll through this so you guys can see the entire list here. It's got everything. World Tournament units are probably the most rare for me because ever since I started playing this game, almost 4 years into the game's life cycle, I've missed out on so much of the early content that I don't have some of those older units, like the Arale collectibles. I'll never have that. That is going to be one thing that will haunt me forever. The One Piece Treasure Cruise, like Goodbye Goku thing, the Peppy Gals collection, the Cyberman collection, all of those different units, I will never have them. And so the one thing that I can control is at least reacquiring the World Tournament units. So that is another reason why I do aggressively do World Tournament, because I would like to get all of those units maxed out. And not only at their main, like their highest point, but their lower versions as well. Call that because of chain battle. You could also call it because of collection stuff, but I just like having all of them. So we are just slowly going through all of these. Actually, you know what? Let me just show before we continue. Recently, I was very happy because I was able to rainbow the Beerus. This has been one of the longest droughts for me. This Beerus, I have not been able to pick up many copies of him because he is in the general pool of World Tournament SSRs. So finally being able to pull up enough copies to rainbow him was definitely a big win personally for me. So let me go a little bit faster here. We just got back here. So tech. My units are ordered in the same ordering that Dokkan default gives you when you start playing the game. AGL is first, tech is second, int is third, STR is fourth, physical is fifth. The good guys are on top. The LRs are at the top. It's an order of activation. So the more rainbowy you are, the higher up you go. But it's separated by super first, then extreme. I never like to change this because I'm just OCD when it comes to it. Because it's happened this same way for all this time, I don't want to change it. Because if I change it, it'll drive me insane. I don't see a reason to change it. The only time that I ever did was for my 20 questions series, which by the way, will be coming back at some point. I just haven't done it in a while because I haven't had time to edit. But I remember, I'll never forget, I did the 20 questions video with Havohai. That psycho made me change my order, and it triggered me so much during that video that I couldn't even focus. I remember that. He asked me to change like the ordering so that I could do like rarity, acquisition, team cost, something. I don't know. It was the worst experience ever. And it took me like 20 minutes to fix it back. I just can't stand that. I don't know if anybody else has this. Sorry for calling you a psycho, Havohai. Love you. I don't know if anyone else has this problem, because I think it is a problem to get this like caught up with how your box is structured, but I can't break it. Does anybody else have that? Is anybody else built like that? Let me know in the comments. Let me know if you guys are just as OCD about certain things in Dokkan like I am. Let me know if there's one thing in particular that if someone were to learn about you, they would think that is very weird when it comes to this game. So as we finish and conclude looking through the rainbows here, let's then take a look at some other tags that I've got here. So that is everybody. Free to plays and rainbows. My tags are set up. They actually have changed recently because of some of the filter systems that they've updated. This used to actually be prime battle units because they didn't actually have the ability to filter out by prime battle units until maybe like a year ago. So anytime you would go to a prime battle event, which is something that I often use as a free-to-play connoisseur, I like having units maxed out. I like, you know, maxing out units without having to spend as many Kais. So if I were to do something like, where's the prime battle event? Prime battle. Okay, so this one, sell. So normally you would have to sift through and find the units yourself. Now they automatically filter out the prime battle units for you. So as you can see, I'm in my full list of units, no filters, but it only shows free to plays. The prime battlers are units that are free to play, but are also acquired from story events or special event drops. So I used to actually painstakingly filter out those units manually. So that is why ever since they changed that, I removed that tag altogether, and instead I put SA5 here. This is a nice way to organize my thoughts. If I'm ever bored in Dokkan, I don't feel like doing link leveling. If I feel like Dokkan awakening some units to get them ready for eventual EZAs, I will take some of these units and I will go in and farm them out. So for example, this Ultra Instinct Goku is done. Don't have to worry about him. But this guy, this Jocko, eventually he should get an EZA, however long down the road it is. So I will click on him. I will see how many medals I need, 0 out of 35. So I will go to the event, and then I will bring a team to acquire those medals. Now, I think I have like maybe 10 or 15 units that I haven't finished. This isn't something that has to be done right away. I do this over time. I used to burn my stones exclusively to do this. I don't think that I need to do that anymore because, again, I'm saving money because I spend a lot on the game, but whatever extra expenses that I do, I'm trying to trim those down to focus on the second channel. So units that could theoretically get EZAs who don't even have the extra forms yet, like this Goku, I have these units maxed out and ready to go as well. And also, in regards to my Dokkan event medal grinding, I actually have a full team dedicated to that. And so when you guys jump into my live streams, I've noticed that some of you guys have been very, very confused and have asked, Toon, why are you running the TUR version of the Tech Super Saiyan Goku? Why are you running the TUR version of the LR Gogeta? It's because this team is also a team that I'm trying to link level. Because the teams are now so busted, the 200% teams, the Dokkan Fest LRs, they're so strong, there's really no competition in the older events. So my philosophy is that I use the lesser units that I've got. It's a collector gacha. I got a ton of them. Might as well put them to good use. And so while I'm at it, I might as well get something out of the process. So while I'm farming Dokkan event medals on an event that dropped like 5 years ago, I will use this weaker team in the hopes that when I do farm the medal at the end of the run, I could maybe get some links, which I have. This team right here is a byproduct of doing exactly that on every single Dokkan event that exists. So that is why this unit is almost at full level 10 links just by doing Dokkan events out there. And I do this because I think it's productive, and also it actually includes a bit of a challenge. So it's kind of like reigniting some intrigue in the older Dokkan events. This is just one of the ways that I like to kind of make the game more interesting during down periods or when I'm doing events that otherwise people call boring. Rightfully so. So this team has gone through that many, many, many times. So I'm sure, again, when I'm about to farm up the SA5 for this guy, Bro, what the heck? Okay. Stop! Whenever I am ready to Dokkan Awaken this guy and get his SA5 ready, I will run that team exactly as constructed. So these are all of my SA5s that I've got. I will have more, but this is one of the ways that I Dokkan responsibly. 174 units will not have any Kais burnt when they eventually get their EZAs. We've got a couple coming soon to global. We've got the baby Vegeta LR done. Nappa Vegeta is done. A couple other EZAs. I've even got Piccolo. Piccolo's not going to be getting an EZA for like 5 years, but I have him done. Why? Because I can. I've summoned for the banner. I've pulled him many, many times. Instead of wasting these extra copies, I would like to put them to good use. But now that his full lineage is rainbowed and his SA5 is done, any subsequent orange Piccolo that I pulled will be burned up and thrown away in the Baba shop because I don't need them anymore. So that covers SA5, free to play. EZAs, this is also kind of an unnecessary tag at this point because now that we have the Extreme Z Awakened filter, you don't actually have to... Oh my gosh, I'm trigger happy. So this kind of helps like show units that will be eventually Extreme Z Awakened. I just like to have this this tag still here because it shows me all the units that are EZA'd. It also helps me for 20 questions. And it also helps me whenever JP gets Extreme Z Awakened announcements, I can throw them into this tag. So if I ever need to like make sure that I have their SA5s ready to go, this is an easier way for me to filter out and see it. 100%, I've got 1200 as I talked about. Chain battle, every single chain battle season I have these ready. This will soon be a thing of the past. So, you know, enjoy looking at this for the last, few times, 3-4 times, and it's over. 200% leads. I got this idea from Mas Ningen, so shout out to him. This is actually a great idea. I think a lot of you guys should do this. It's an easy way to kind of consider your options when you're trying to run a certain event. If you want to maybe challenge yourself with some heroes, you could bring the heroes lead. Or if you want to do a throwback team, if you want to bring like an Android Cell Saga team with Cell, this is an easier way to find it. We don't have that filter option in the game right now. I think that needs to be a thing. But until they do, this is going to be a tag for me. Max Links is the last one. I don't need this anymore because they've already added that. You can filter out by all units at Max Links or units that still need to link up. So for me, I just simply do this because it took me a very long time to establish this tag. I don't want to get rid of it. So I will forever and always update this. But the cool thing is, anytime I miss something, I can always check. So since I've got 1220 Max Links units, if I want to verify if they are all Max Links, I just click all at max level. The number is the same. So I've got everybody at Max Links. And sometimes if I miss one, if I click on link level up possible, under the Max Links tag, there should theoretically be nobody. But if there is, I would then remove the tag, fix it, and then come back. There was an instance a while ago where the transforming Goku and transforming Frieza units were Max Links in their base form, but they were not Max Links in their final forms or in their their procedural forms. And I didn't realize that. So when I put them originally in this list, we didn't have that filter system there. But if I still had them there and I had done this, then Goku and Frieza would have both popped up here. I would have seen it and I would have fixed it. In fact, I even tweeted it. I felt like such a fraud after because these guys had been sitting in the Max Links box for months. It was one of the shocking moments of my my Dokkan career. So that is how I look at all of my different tags. If you have any cool tag ideas, feel free to share them in the comments down below. I would love to try some other tags if they are useful. So that covers that. Now let's talk about my favorite units, my first units, and all that. So the first unit that I ever summoned, the first SSR that I ever summoned was actually the STR Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta. I'll never forget that because this was the first time that I'd ever seen a Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta in my life. When I jumped back into Dokkan, I was also jumping back into Dragon Ball for the first time after years. I hadn't seen Heroes. I didn't know anything about all of the like extra canonical stuff. I only ever knew Z and Dragon Ball and Kai. I never knew about, well, I also knew GT. I didn't know about Super. So I started Dokkan around the time that I finished watching the Tournament of Power in Super. So I didn't know that Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta was even a thing in a crossover game. So the fact that I got this first was very rewarding for me because I'm a Vegeta stan. I hate that Goku got Super Saiyan 3 and Vegeta didn't. So the fact that I pulled him first was kind of symbolic of that. My favorite LR Goku Frieza. Universe 7 is my favorite category in the game. Universe Survival Saga, Universe 7. The Tournament of Power ending is when I started Dokkan. So this moment was essentially what brought me into Dokkan. This and Oh the Humanity. So I've always liked this unit because of that. Plus, this has the most busted leader skill and had the most busted leader skill for the longest time. So I just felt that this unit was really, really cool. Also, it's purple and yellow, Laker colors, another reason for me to like it. So I've never changed my mind on this. The animations are good. I've always liked this unit. We've had more units since that are really, really good, but I've always had a soft spot for this guy. My favorite free-to-play unit, actually, I should show my first free-to-play LR that I got. My first free-to-play unit that I fully maxed out was the Vegito. This was also one of my favorite units in recent, or back in during the day. He's not my favorite free-to-play now because of the sell, but he was a pretty fun unit to grind through. It was very tough in the beginning. You had to bring units with fierce battle. I was somewhat free-to-play at the start of Dokkan, so it was very challenging to run units with fierce battle to get the medals, to get the LR Vegito. But this guy, he's got such a cool animation. Imperfect Cell is one of my favorite characters of all time. Plus, he's actually got a pretty cool build. Even before his EZA, it was pretty nice. So that's my favorite free-to-play LR. Favorite TUR summonable is Tech Vegito Blue. This was the second SSR that I ever pulled, and he is a stacker. This is one of the main reasons why I love the stacking meta so much. He would do it so many times back in the day that he was one of my most important characters. He got me through a lot of content, so I've always had a soft spot for him. Candy Vegito is my favorite TUR. Not so much now, but for the longest time he was. So I have to mention this. I took some time to really think back, which was some of the units that I liked, and I loved Candy Vegito. And it was before I even knew about J Fanta. I didn't know that J Fanta has this whole like arc with Candy Vegito, which is pretty funny. I also have the LR Rose here. I also have the LR Jackie Moon here. The reason why these two units are here is because these are some of my favorite units right now. These are some of the hot units right now that I very much like using because they're just fun. LR Rose, I have been a big fan of this unit ever since he got his EZA. He is busted. He does a ton of damage. He's got a ton of stats, and Rose has been shafted way too much. This EZA definitely course corrects a little bit. Doesn't fully solve the problem, but I do like the unit. And Jackie Moon, because he's a free-to-play, he's got nice damage reduction, and he is great for cell max. Little fun fact, why do I call him Jackie Moon? Because his name is Jackie Chun, he blows up a moon, and it also references a movie Semi-Pro, so that's why, Jackie Moon. What else do we got here? I have my list. Oh, extra units. So people wanted to know what my extra units look like. So let me go to 100%, and if I filter out by Dokkan Awakening, so this now shows every unit that has a Dokkan Awakening. Actually, I could just go back to the main one. Yeah. So I've got 778 units that have Dokkan Awakenings. This also includes the future SA5s, but since I'm filtering up by 100%, these are all of my rainbow extra copies for units. So as you can see, Super Saiyan 4 Goku's TUR is here. Gohan's TUR is here. These are all of the extra units that I've acquired over the years, both free to play and otherwise. This helps for chain battle. This helps for collection purposes. And I know that somebody wanted to see this, so here you go. I'm just going to sift through all these. Yeah, I got the TUR Majin Vegeta. He's a throwback. It's actually, it's taken a long time for me to acquire some of these older units. I even went as far as rainbowing the various versions of the free-to-play Friend Summon LRs, which there are quite a few. I did all of that. I love the game. What can I say? I just like having all these different copies. So yeah, almost 400 rainbow dupes for all these different units. Trunks and Vegeta maxed out. Ultra Instinct Goku maxed out. Rose. Oh yeah, look at that. Rose's full lineage maxed out. Goku Brick maxed out. Demon King Piccolo. Spirit Bomb Z, Spirit Bomb GT, I didn't rainbow them on my first stint summoning for them, so they don't have any extra copies in here, which I realized when I was making this video. But hey, eventually I will. So they will be my new target to eventually have extra copies for. There you go. That is my full list of unawakened characters that will never be awakened because I don't need to. They're dupes. All right, so now let's see. What do I have in my list here? Best shaft and worst shaft. So my best, well, actually, there's no best shaft. I don't want that. Best luck. That's what I meant to say. My best luck ever in Dokkan, there are two units that I had really, really good luck for. The first one is actually the LR Goku Frieza. I don't remember exactly how long it took for me to rainbow this unit, but I remember distinctively feeling annoyed because I pulled so many copies of this LR Goku Frieza that I actually considered discarding, like selling some of them, because I felt like I was getting shafted by only pulling this guy and nobody else. I didn't know at the time that this was the LR, this was the most valuable unit in the banner, anything like that. I got just so irritated that I got so many copies that I almost got rid of them. But because I'm so attached to Universe 7, I decided ultimately not to. And then when I realized what I almost did, I was very happy that I didn't. So that was my first and best luck. This was the very beginning of my Dokkan days. So I had that boosted beginners rates. I know that's a thing. That is definitely a thing. When you start a gacha game, they want to reel you in. So they're going to give you those boosted rates. I had that on this banner and I was rewarded handsomely. So that was my first like major stint of good luck. But then my other one was the actual Ultimate Gohan. I pulled this guy and I rainbowed him in about 600 stones. That was my best luck in general for summons. After that, my other crazy luck was when I rainbowed both Spirit Bomb Z and Spirit Bomb GT on a JP giveaway account last year during the 8-year anniversary on the JP side of the game. But it doesn't count because it wasn't from my account. So that was my best luck. Now, my worst shaft was, man, they're all tech units. The worst shaft of my life was Janemba. It took me, I think, almost 3,000 stones to pull Janemba. That was the worst for me. And if that isn't bad enough, there was another one that was also pretty bad, and that was the physical LR Super Saiyan 4 Goku and Vegeta during the 7-year anniversary. But for this one, I was summoning back and forth between the 7-year gods and the 7-year Super Saiyan 4s. So while I was getting shafted on this banner, I was getting good success on the other banner. So I don't know if that necessarily counts, but it took me collectively about 5,000 to 6,000 stones before I eventually got my first copy of the Super Saiyan 4s. So if that counts, that counts. All right, now let's go through skill orbs. So people wanted to know about skill orbs. I've got a ton of them, but recently I have been using my skill orbs a little bit more because I'm trying to have the best chain battle supports that I can. So like my maximum stat supporting skill orbs in the bronze slot, those have been used regularly because I'm trying to make my supports better. But yeah, these are all of my different skill orbs. There's a lot. Actually, there's a huge list. I don't know if you guys want to sit here and see all this. Let me see if I can filter out by levels. Here we go. Let's do like 4s and 5s. There we go. That should be easier to look through. So now these are my good ones. You're not going to use level 1s and level 2s anyway. They're more disposable. These are my level 4s, 5s, 6s, 7s, and 8s. And then as you can see, all of my EX skill orbs are here. There needs to be an update where when you click on one, it shows you where that unit is equipped. There needs to be something like that, because what I went through to then ultimately find out the chain battle is being canceled made me so mad. I don't ever want to feel that way ever again. If I click on this, it should say currently equipped to AGL UI Goku, currently equipped to AGL Chi-Chi. You know, like they got to do that. They really have to. Not the regular ones, because these, when they're equipped, they're gone forever. But the ones that can be removed and reused, they really should have some way to track it, because otherwise you'll lose some of them. They'll get lost in the shuffle. I don't want that to happen. So yeah, these are all of my skill orbs. I farm out a ton of these skill orbs whenever I can. There are tons of EX skill orb events where you can get a whole bunch of these different things. So whenever I can, I farm them out as much as possible, which is why I've got so many here. So yeah, skill orb. My skill orb game is pretty strong. Hopefully, I mean, it will get stronger now that the chain battle meta is ending. So I won't have to necessarily spend all these different the skill orbs as much anymore. So they will be used a lot more frequently. So I'll probably have a much more depleted reserve in a few months. Probably by the time we get to worldwide download 2024, which is my prediction for full synchro, I will probably have a very minimal amount of skill orbs. So there's that. Stickers. I don't actually use my stickers all that much these days. I've got 27 of these. I might do a video where I give stickers to a bunch of different units, but until then, So aside from that, I think that pretty much covers everything that I can possibly show you in my box. Oh, items. I could show items. Let's go over my items. Anything that I can max out, I'm trying to. I've maxed out all of the oolongs. I've maxed out all of the poires. Baba and Pilaf and Ghost Ushers will probably never be maxed out because they are the most important items that I use for World Tournament. So those will never be maxed. I have some items that are very rare, like the stick. I think I used it once to see how it works. Key +3 for allies for 1 turn, but since then, I don't want to get rid of it because, again, collectible. The nuking items, I have these. I will eventually get them maxed out. I haven't really focused on maxing them out because they're fairly expensive, and I'm trying to prioritize other things like the important items. Whis, important item. Android 8, important item. Princess Snake, important item. Things like that. Nurse Chi-Chi, you cannot buy her all the way to 999. You have to either farm her out from the GT event or buy her from the Zenny shop in limited supply. So until I max out the important items, the other ones are not going to be as much of a priority. But anytime, you know, I go through my Baba shop, if something pops up that is interesting to me, like if I need some more Babidi medals, I'll buy that. And I'll also buy support memory. But in general, I will save it for the Kais and the keys, of which, by the way, I have a lot of keys. So people ask me, Tuna, how do you have so many story keys? It's because I'm always frequently visiting the Baba shop. I'll just buy them from the Baba shop. This is exactly why I've got so many of these. And what's great about this is whenever my stamina is depleted like it is now, if I want to go back and farm up a super attack 5 for a future EZA, I can do that. In fact, I'm currently in the process of getting a second copy of the 17 and 18 units fully rainbowed and maxed out, because eventually when we get that celebration on global, I will be able to fully rainbow and Dokkan Awaken them. So I will then have the TUR and the SSR versions of these units fully maxed out, because I want to have that. I want to have more units. I want to have more completed units. So any chance that I can get to help that cause, I will do it. So that effectively covers my entire box. Oh man, I didn't do Clash. I got to do Clash. I got to stream that. So that is my full Dokkan account box for the year 2024. I think that this is a pretty stacked box. I have some little OCD habits that I like to constantly like update and maintain, but in general, this is a very, very good box. If I were to sell this, it would be worth a ton. I never will unless Dokkan dies, but at that point, I don't know what I'll do. But until then, I am very happy with my box. I would never change this for the world. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this 40-minute video. Please watch it. I appreciate it. If you got to the end, you did watch it, so thank you. That is going to be it. Guys, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to leave a like down below. Let me know in the comments your thoughts on my account. Do you think that there are certain things that I do, the way I'm wired, that you agree with, you disagree with? What is the number one most shocking thing that you saw or learned about in my account when watching this video? Let me know what your account power level is. Who is your profile character? What are some little habits that you have that people might not fully understand? Let me know all of your thoughts in the comments down below. Also, be sure to subscribe for more dope content in the future and click the notification bell so that you ladies know when I see more myself do it. Thanks again. Stay tuned and remember to Dokkan responsibly.